Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to today's final front load and another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're going to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. If you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so called behavior modification program. The Des Rotenberg Educational Center didn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit. They did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic refused, so you know the drill. Please read the article. Share it on all your social media. Also included in there is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC ever does actually see through with their threat. All right, folks. Trigger warning one will be discussed places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys. You're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please go ahead and utilize your headphones. Trigger warning 2, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they're watching this, very obviously parental supervision is very much advised, all right? Okay, so where we left off. For example, although Dr. Michelson testified that the GED can suppress the behavior and that he has seen some residents' behaviors respond to the GED, he also testified that, based on the JRC spreadsheets regarding aphasia, the GED does not have any statistically lasting effect, and that he does not believe the GED actually changes the behavior in any lasting way. Shots fired! Maybe Dr. Michelson wasn't one of those. But anyway, shots fired. That's one of the major points. There's no longevity. There's no evidence to back the claim that they reduced them to zero for life. Because you can't. There is no reducing the behavior down for life. As an individual pushing 40, getting ready to stare down the barrel of another autistic burnout, allow me to inform you, for the rest of the class, it never goes away entirely. And it will crop up again here and there. But if the treatment is proper, you can at least bring it down to a baseline so you can function in society. Not that that's really a great prize, but we kind of have to survive, right? There's no longevity. There's no evidence that putting a kid on this device is going to mean that those behaviors will stay at zero. We also have no way of looking at the data to see if those behaviors cropped up again later down the line. Okay? Dr. Geller testified the 168 articles represent a small number of cases that have extremely mixed results. So there's nothing definitive. How science works is you conduct an experiment, and then at least 3 other people can conduct the same exact type of experiment with all the same perimeters, doing exactly everything perfect, just like it was done the first time. And if those who are also conducting the exact same experiment do not receive the exact same results, that means it is inconclusive, which means nothing can be determined from that particular experiment, right? That's how science works. Each of the studies that the JRC provide come to completely polar opposite conclusions. Because of that, because there's not a uniform study that can show across the board all these studies getting the exact same results and exact same conclusions, again, not worth the poor trees that were felled to print them out on. The study failed to show whether or not contingent skin shock is effective. If the outcome means that the individual could live a life without self injurious behaviors or would have aggression without shock. Exactly. None of these things can be proven. And if we're going to speak about reality, there is no treatment on planet Earth that is going to take away all those behaviors forever. We got to get this pie in the sky thinking out of our medical model for the love of God. There is nothing that's going to take away all of those behaviors forever because life is life. And when it gets stressful, when it gets hard, when it gets difficult, when there's sudden changes coming out of nowhere, they're going to crop up again. That's just reality. What I would hope from a decent treatment program is that we would know what to do in the situation when it pops up, to provide for as much as we can reasonable accommodations, assistive devices, coping mechanisms, whatever needs to be used during that time to minimize the effectiveness that it has on the rest of our life and how we interact with our communities. The sooner we realize that the behaviors are never going to 100% go away, the better off we'll be. And the sooner we can start talking about real treatment program solutions. Let's continue to read. The studies failed to show whether or not, we already went over that. Dr. McCracken testified regarding the design weakness and the inadequate duration of the observation of the majority of the studies for ESDs or SIB, which are peculiarly detrimental due to the fact that the SIB waxes and wanes over time. One could mistakenly attribute those changes to the treatment if you don't have a comparison group. So you don't even have another playbook to go off of. Dr. McCracken summarized that the use of painful electric shock lacks that what any professional group would deem as adequate and well supported evidence base. Oh my God, shots fired. Dare it again. Hit him again. And that he would never use shock even if no other treatment worked. Thank you, shots fired, goddamn. So that doctor is saying we can essentially conclude nothing from the shit that the JRC rained down on the poor FDA. And may I say again, I hope to God somebody gifted every single last one of those panel members with a bottle of bourbon. Considering all the stupid that they had to endure for years on end, they'd have earned it. So it's pretty simple, right? The study's not worth the paper that it is written on for multiple reasons. All the other studies are we can't conclude anything from them because it's a mixed bag. There's nothing that is consistent that shows the same results across the board. And what do we call that, kids, when it does? Science. Jazz hands. Jazz hands. I'm sorry, folks. I'm tired. On that, we're going to go ahead and close out. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do get tend to get removed from time to time. If you could, folks, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and please don't forget to utilize those comments. I do appreciate your time. As always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye, everyone.